Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling completely confused about what just happened, wondering if you were the problem, or questioning whether your memory of events is even accurate? If so, you're not alone. And there's actually a name for what you might be experiencing: gaslighting. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful tools for recovering from and protecting yourself against gaslighting: developing your own internal validation system. This isn't just a buzzword. It's a concrete, learnable set of mental habits that help you stay grounded in your own reality, even when someone else is trying to pull you away from it. Let's get into it. First, a quick definition, because the word gets used a lot, and it often is misused. Gaslighting isn't simply manipulation. It is a form of psychological manipulation in which someone causes you to question your own memory, perception, or judgment. The term comes from a 1944 film called Gaslight, where a husband manipulates his wife into thinking she's going insane, partly by literally dimming the gas lights in their home and then denying it's even happening. In real life, gaslighting can sound like these statements: "That never happened. You're making things up. You're too sensitive. You always overreact. I never said that. You must have misheard me. You're imagining things. You're crazy." Over time, these statements don't just win individual arguments. They erode your trust in yourself. And that's the real damage. Gaslighting doesn't just distort individual facts. It attacks the system you use to determine what's true. It damages your confidence in your own perceptions, feelings, and memory. And that's exactly why rebuilding the internal system is so essential. So, what exactly is an internal validation system? Think of it as a mental framework, a set of inner checkpoints that you use to evaluate your emotions and trust your memory as a reliable guide. But when someone consistently undermines those things over time, that framework can become shaky or even collapse entirely. An internal validation system has 4 key components. The first one is emotional recognition, the ability to name and trust what you're feeling. The second is memory anchoring, which are strategies for preserving and trusting your recollection of events. The third one is reality testing, a process for checking your perceptions without relying solely on the person who may be manipulating you. And then fourth, self-trust, a baseline belief that your inner experiences are real and valid. Each of these components can be intentionally rebuilt. Let's look at how. The first component is emotional recognition. And it sounds simple, but for people who've been gaslit, it's often the most difficult place to start. When someone repeatedly tells you that your feelings are wrong, that you're overreacting, too emotional, or you're reading into things, you start to second guess your own emotional responses before they've even fully formed. Here's how to rebuild this. Name your feelings in real time. When something happens that triggers a reaction in you, pause and name it, even privately, just to yourself. I feel dismissed right now. I feel confused and scared. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain it. Just name it. Second, use a feelings journal. This is one of the most effective tools available. After significant interactions, especially ones that leave you feeling destabilized, write down what happened and what you felt. Don't edit yourself. This will become a private record that belongs only to you. Over time, this journal does something important. It gives you a body of evidence about your own emotional patterns. You begin to see that your feelings actually make sense. They're consistent and they're yours. And then trust the signal before the explanation. Your nervous system often registers that something is wrong before your conscious mind can explain it. That physical sense of unease, the tightness in your chest, the dropped stomach, all of that is information. Start treating it as such. The next component for rebuilding is memory anchoring. Gaslighting often targets memory directly. Statements like, "That's not what happened. You always remember things wrong." So memory anchoring actually preserves your account of events. Write things down as soon as possible. After a significant conversation or incident, document it. Who said what, how it made you feel, and the context. Timestamps matter. This isn't about building a legal case. It's about building trust in your own mind. Tell a trusted person. Sharing your experience with a trusted friend, family member, or therapist immediately after it happens creates another anchor point. Their response, especially if they reflect your reality back to you, is grounding. And then recognize the gaslighting loop. Often, gaslighting works because we go back to the same person who manipulated us and we ask them to confirm our reality. Notice when you're doing this and direct that need to your journal or your trusted third party instead. Now, one important note about memory is that memory is naturally imperfect for everyone. That's not weakness. It's just how human memory works. Anchoring isn't about claiming perfect recall. It's about having your own record so you're not entirely dependent on someone else's version of events. The third component to rebuilding an internal validation system is reality testing and self-trust. And this is where many people get tripped up because gaslighting trains you to doubt yourself so thoroughly that even checking your own perceptions feels unreliable. A few grounding questions you can ask yourself: would a reasonable person feel this way given what happened? If a friend told me the same story, would I believe them? And has this pattern happened before? These questions create what psychologists call cognitive distance, a small but important gap between the raw experience and your interpretation of it. They help you evaluate your experience more objectively without dismissing it. Seek outside perspectives carefully. A therapist, counselor, or trusted friend who knows the situation can offer a genuine reality check. The key word here is trusted. Gaslighting sometimes involves a broader network of people who reinforce the manipulator's version of reality. So be thoughtful about who you invite into this process. And then build self-trust deliberately. This means following through on small commitments you make to yourself. It means making decisions and noticing the results. It means treating your own experiences with the same seriousness you would extend to a close friend. Self-trust is not arrogance. It is the earned confidence that comes from paying attention to yourself over time. Developing an internal validation system is not a one-time exercise. It's an ongoing practice, especially if you've spent months or years in an environment that systematically undermined your self-perception. Here's a simple framework to return to. Name what you feel without waiting for permission from anyone else. Write it down. Create your own record of your experiences. Ask grounding questions. Use the reasonable person test to reality check your perceptions. Involve trusted people. Don't rebuild in isolation. And then be patient with yourself. Rebuilding self-trust takes time, and that's okay. If you're currently in a relationship or environment where gaslighting is happening, please know that what you're experiencing is real. Your feelings are valid. Your memory is not broken, and your perception is not the problem. Working with a therapist, particularly one trained in trauma-informed care or narcissistic abuse recovery, can be an invaluable part of this process. You don't have to do this alone. The goal of building an internal validation system isn't to become closed off or defensive. It's to become grounded, to have a stable enough relationship with your own perceptions that no one can easily pull the floor out from under you. That kind of groundedness is your right, and it is absolutely something you can develop. If this video was helpful, consider sharing it with someone who might need it. And if you have questions or your own experiences with this topic, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.